Up until now, I used to think that the coffee bean was directly picked off from the plant, and the way it was in the package, I thought that's how it was as is. But the coffee bean goes through a series of processes and is very different from when it's picked off from the plant and harvested. So today we'll be informing you guys about the coffee bean. You should listen to my speech because coffee is very relevant to today, because according to the National Association of Coffee, over 83% of Americans today drink a cup of coffee daily. And also, coffee has its health benefits, because according to Sharon Palmer, coffee can help lower the risks of getting type 2 diabetes, and also can help for weight loss because it slows down the absorption of carbs. In this speech, I will first inform you about the origins of the coffee bean, then I will explain to you the harvesting, and lastly I will tell you about the roasting process of the coffee bean. So the word coffee or kafea originates from the Arabic word kawea, which stands for that which deprives sleep. And according to Lee Larner, the coffee bean originates from Ethiopia and was found when shepherds noticed that their sheep were grazing on certain plants, that after night hours, that their sheep were very active and were still awake. And so these plants, although they originate from Ethiopia, they're mainly grown around the equator, which is also known as the coffee belt because of the warm temperatures and the rich soils that is for the coffee bean. And these plants can grow anywhere from 3 to 9 meters tall and start producing fruit after 3 years. And but they give their best fruit after they turn 5 years old. And their fruit consists of cherries that contain 2 beans inside. It's like a little socket, and the socket outside starts off as green, and once it's ripe, it's a crimson color. And so these beans are surrounded by this liquid silk, and then this papery leaf covering that makes up the socket. And so when ripe, that's when they're ready to harvest. Now we'll tell you about the harvesting process. It can be harvested in 2 different forms. There's the wet method and then there's the dry method. The wet method being more expensive but getting the better quality beans, and the dry method being used more in poorer countries. So the wet method consists of putting the beans through machines and hand picking them one by one, and then putting them through the machines in which the covering is taken off, and then later on the bean is washed off to get off the silky foam that's around. And after this, they're put through water channels in which all the beans are placed inside. It's like a little container, but it's a little water channel in which the ripe beans sink to the very bottom, and those are gathered to set up to dry. And with the wet method, they're set up to dry usually by machine because they have more money, the countries, and they're rotated continuously just so that they don't burn. And then they're waited till they have 11% moisture content. And in the dry method, they're usually just grabbed by the bunches, not very selective, and then they're usually by hand or machine. They're taking off their coverings. They're not always washed, but sometimes they're washed, and then that's when they're set out to dry, usually in a very flat area, and then they're done directly by the sun and rotated continuously within a 24-hour period till they reach 11% moisture content, and that's when they're ready to get roasted. And the roasting process does not occur in the countries that they're harvested. It occurs in the countries that are actually getting the imports, just because it's for better fresh tasting coffee. And so the roasting process consists of putting these beans into very oven-like machines in which they're heated up from anywhere from 400 to 550 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is what gives the beans their color, because prior to this, they're green. But as they're heated, the oils within the bean actually start spraying out and give it the coffee aroma that we now know today. And there's different kinds of roasts. There's light roast, there's medium roast, there's medium dark roast, and then there's dark roast. The light roast being a lighter coffee, and also the bean being a lighter color, but not oily from the outside. Medium roast being also dry from the outside, a little darker and a little stronger. Medium dark roast being a little darker and actually having oil on the outside, and dark roast being anywhere from really brown to pure black, and very oily on the outside and very, very strong. And so any other kind of roasting type is pretty much a blend of any of these roastings, and that's when they're ready to get packaged and then shipped. So in this speech, I have told you about the coffee bean. I first told you about the origins of the coffee bean. Then I told you about the harvesting process of the coffee bean. And lastly, I told you about the roasting process of the coffee bean. And I hope that you come to understand, as I did with this speech, that there's more to the coffee bean than what we see, because it goes through a series of processes to get it into the state of perfection that we now use today for our coffee.